Salutations all. Before we get into it today, I just want to use my little bitty platform to send out a message. I hope that it reaches someone. Maybe it'll change your life. I don't know. We all come from different backgrounds. We all are into different things. So, I don't want to kill you with this message, but I just want to address this elephant. It's out there. It's affecting someone's household. It's affecting someone's ability to live their life happily. So, let's just address it. Vegetarianism, ketoism, raw foodisms, food allergies. Okay, no, not them, not them. You guys were born that way. It's not your fault. So yeah, disregard this. To everyone else that's out there that's living that life, we got meals for you too. There are support groups for you. Know that you are not alone. Well, some of you are very lonely. Either way, however you like to eat your food, we're going to try to cover the bases for everybody here. So today, we're going to get into tofu. Yep, I know you made a face. I saw it. I did see it. You made a face. You made a face and you never even had tofu. Let's just keep it 100. You've never had it, but just the idea of it hurts your soul a little bit. And I understand. I do. But we're going to make it anyway, okay? We're going to do a little tofu parmesan, and we're going to do a spaghetti squash noodle. So we're going straight up vegetarian. Vegans, make adaptations, whatever you got to do. It's not that you're not real people. I just don't have time today, okay? And for all you vegetarians out there that do it because you want to save the animals, but you want all of your meals to taste like animal, well, you can go to So there's going to be some variations in tofu out there for those that are brand new to this. The type that we're using today is a firm. I apologize for the lighting there. It's a firm tofu. So you have tofu that is firm, which is typically what you see everywhere. You have extra firm, and then you've got something that's not firm that I've never seen before. Really all that it talks about is the texture of the tofu. Tofu comes packed in a water. It's very gelatinous. It has a very gelatinous texture. If you don't like it that way, you could always take it, wrap it in a towel, put a little weight on it, and let it sit for a bit and force a lot of that water out. It'll dry that up. It'll change the texture for you and give you the ability to do some extra things with it. But for the most part, the average firm tofu, you can grill it, you can fry it, you can sear it, you can smoke it. You can do pretty much anything with it. You treat it like a fish in a way, like a sturdy fish, all right? So we got our tofu. I've got some marinara going on the stove. Hey, if you want to be artisanal and be real fancy and spend 8 hours making marinara, by all means, baby, do that. Flex. For us lazy folks, I just bought some marinara and I've got that warming on the stove. All right. I've also got some Japanese panko here. This is just breadcrumb. You can find that pretty much all your stores. You'll probably see the Japanese version as well as the Italian breadcrumbs. The Italian that I find typically to be a lot finer and it doesn't add as much crunch and texture. Not to say that it won't, but it's just, I prefer the Japanese personally. All right, we've got a little bit of Italian herb seasoning, just a plain old seasoning, some salt and pepper. We've got the spaghetti squash. We're going to get into that in just a second. We've also got some mozzarella cheese, because what's Parmesan without that mozzarella, right? All right, see a little butter on the side and some salt and pepper. Very, very basic today, very simple, straightforward meal. So let's get into another kitchen adventure. Okay, everybody, let's start off with what's going to take the longest to cook on this meal. This is our spaghetti squish. All right, spaghetti squash, baby. All right. I got this one at Walmart. You can get them pretty much anywhere. They're pretty much always available. It's a pretty good size one right here. We'll make plenty for the two of us that are here today. So we're going to start by cleaning this bad boy out. Cut the stem off here. Cut right down the middle. All right. And once you get into them, you can see that there's a lot of seeds. So it's just like any other melon, right? So we're going to scrape those seeds right out of there with our trusty spoon. We're going to scrape those seeds right out of there with our trusty spoon. you're wondering whether or not you can eat the seeds, I don't know. You should Google that. I've never tried to eat them myself, so couldn't say. Don't want anyone to hurt themselves on my behalf. Maybe it'll grow in your belly. Oh my. All right, we're going to clean this other half. Same thing. We'll scrape those seeds out. Quick, easy, right to the point. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of this olive oil here. We're just going to kind of rub the insides a little bit. The olive oil helps to spread that heat evenly. All right, it's like a conductor in the oven. We're just going to hit it a little bit of olive oil, all inside, all on the rim there. Okay, we're going to sprinkle a little salt and pepper. So something too, you know, especially with people that are fresh into the kitchen, in the professional world, or people that just don't care about your food that much, you'll see them mix their salt and pepper together, which seems like it's a very efficient thing to do. But keep in mind that once you do that, you can now no longer control the salt and pepper in your dish. So if you need to add more salt, you can't do so without the pepper, and vice versa. So save that for TV. Keep your salt and pepper separate. Separate but equal. All right, a little salt in those. All right, I've got this wonderful pan here. We're going to put these face down onto our oven sheet, onto our baking pan, and we're going to put those into the oven. I've got the oven set at 375, and we're going to put that in for about 15 minutes. All right. Okay, so we've got the squash out of the oven. Got that sitting over on the side, letting that cool a little bit so it's cool enough for us to actually handle without injuring ourselves. We've got the tofu out and drained, get the water drained off of it. Very unassuming block of protein right there. We're going to get into our breading station for this. So what we've got here, I've got a little seasoned flour. The flour I seasoned with a little garlic and some smoked paprika, two of my favorite spices in the kitchen. We've got a little egg here, seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then here I've got some seasoned breadcrumbs that I seasoned with that. Here we like to build layers, right? We're building. You want to season top to bottom. You got to go all the way up. All right, got the flour coat on. Now we're going to go with our egg. Let's try to get that all the way over without tearing it up in my little bitty bowl here. Boom. You can see that seasoning. It's coating that very nicely. Now we've got some seasoned tofu, right? Right from the egg into our breadcrumbs. Nice and easy. Okay. Nice and easy. Don't want to mash it too much. The tofu is, it is still, you know, a very fragile thing to work with. And you can tear it up pretty quick. So we're going to get that crusted real nice. All the way around. Okay, so there it is, right? It's breaded. It's ready to go into the pan. Now we're going to cook this thing up. Got the trusted skillet out. Let's go ahead and toast this off real nice. Let's start off with just a drop of olive oil, a little olive oil in the pan there. Let that get nice and hot. We're going to hit this with a little softened butter as well. Adds that nice flavoring, helps me brown out that breadcrumb. Alright, once we get that nice and melted down, a little olive oil coat there. We'll go right into that oil with our tofu. Just let it do its thing. And all we're looking to do is really brown this off. Obviously, tofu is not something you have to worry about cooking to a certain temperature or anything like that. It's not that type of product. So we're trying to get this nice and golden brown. GBD, golden brown delicious. Okay, get it in there. So we're going to let this go. I would probably say, depending on your heat, obviously it's going to be a little different, but you know, 1 to 2 minutes on each side should give you that nice, delicious brown that we're looking for. And make it nice and crisp. I know what I'm doing right now, just making sure I get that nicely coated in the oil and butter mix there. Grab me a old spatula over here. A little bit longer. A little bit longer. You can really smell those herbs. It's really nice. If you're wondering why I keep tilting the pan, it's because I'm trying to keep that oil moving, keep it around the tofu where I want. I'm on an uneven surface here, so it keeps going off to one side. Alright, let's check this out. It's getting there. It's getting there. And me, I'm going to let that other side go a little bit longer. I want a little more of that gold in there. A little more color. And you can see where we've lost some of our crust right there. It didn't do too well on the breading on that end, but we'll make up for it in flavor. Alright, so I'm going to finish browning this up, and then we're going to get into the plate up, and we're going to look at that spaghetti squash. There, side really got that nice golden brown, delicious look to it. Really nice and crisp. I wish you could feel that through the screen. Alright, now let's get into the plate up. Now, for those that have never had spaghetti squash, you're wondering why they call it that. Well, the fibers of this particular squash, as you cook it, they will be stringy when you start pulling it out. See if I can get a good shot of that for you. So they're like little noodles. So, you know, oh, that's burning my fingers, but I hope you enjoy it. It becomes very, very stringy, which is why it's called spaghetti squash. So it's something that you can get. You've got those picky eaters, you got those kids that just refuse. It's something very playful that you can get to entice them to eat their veggies. So we're going to take our noodles there. Remember, we season this with a little bit of salt and pepper beforehand, before cooking it up. So we're going to take our bundle of noodles. You know, you don't have to be fancy. You just slop it on a paper plate. It don't matter. It don't matter. Whatever makes you happy inside. Alright, so we've got our noodle base. Waste not, want not. And treat this just like I would if we were doing chicken or anything else. And cut a few slices. Don't know if you can hear that crust. Well, that is exciting. Seriously. Go right on top of our noodles. Good hearty portion right there. So go right on top of our noodles there. Alright. Got our hot marinara over here on the side. Pasta sauce. Right across the top, just a dibble dabble. And what is Parmesan without some cheese? Alright, there you go. Alright. That is a vegetarian tofu Parmesan. Minus the Parmesan. We use mozzarella today. Okay. You can almost play that off as like really thickly cut rectangular chicken. I mean, if you want to be that guy. Alright, so I brought my undocumented worker into the kitchen here, and he's never had this. I don't often cook tofu at home. Actually, I've never cooked tofu at home, to be honest with you. So, you know, this is a kid that claims that he doesn't like things before he tastes them. So let's see what he thinks about this. Good sauce, too. Some noodles. It's probably pretty hot. Be careful.
I think it's pretty good.
Actually pretty good, huh? So that tofu you said you knew you didn't like is not that bad, huh?
I never said I knew I didn't like it.
Alright, y'all. Enjoy.